Hello, my little mathematicians. Today, we're going to be exploring ratios with tables, double number lines, and tape diagrams, mainly focusing on the tape diagrams. Okay, so first off, let's just go ahead and look at this simple problem that says a farm stand is selling 5 apples for $8. Okay, you could represent that in a table where you have apples along here and your money down here. So it's 5 apples for $8. Okay, and then you try to create essentially equivalent ratios there. Or we could do it here and you would put it as a double number line. So like again, apples is on top, money's on the bottom. This is kind of similar to this. Or there's a tape diagram, which is more like a visual representation of what's happening. So here you can actually see that there's 5 apples for every $8. Okay, so here's the same thing with an example of brown eggs to white eggs in a ratio of 2 to 5. Okay, again, you have a table and a double number line, which kind of almost look the same to me. And then you have the visual representation. Let's go ahead and actually do a problem that we'd actually be asked to do. And that would be more like this one, where it says you have a farm stand and they're selling 5 apples for 8 gold coins. And you're like, I don't really see a difference from here to here. The difference is that here's the first part, but then they're going to ask me a second piece of information, and I'm going to set that up here. And usually they only tell me one other number, and I have to solve for the other. So here they said, okay, what if Snow White spends 32 gold coins? So where do I put that 32? On the top or the bottom? Well, that's talking about the money, right? So I'm going to put 32 here. And how many apples will she get? Okay, well, that's what I don't know, so that's my unknown. Well, ask yourself, how do you get from 8 to 32? Because you always want to go towards the direction of your unknown, right? So I want to go this way. So how do you get from 8 to 32? Yeah, if you multiply by 4. So now do 5 times 4, and what do you get? That's right, 20. Okay, so then let's do it here. It's kind of the same thing, but instead of in a table, this time they're doing it on a double number line. It's still 5 apples is on top, 8 gold coins is on the bottom. And then where do you choose to put the 32? Well, it's still the money's on the bottom, so I'm going to put it here. Then you ask yourself, just like last time, we were solving for the unknown amount of apples that cost 32 gold coins. So go towards the direction of the unknown, which is this way. What do you do to the 8 to get to the 32? Yeah, times 4. So do 5 times 4 and you get 20. Okay, so whether you do it this way or this way, you still get that 32 gold coins gives you 20 apples. Let's look at how that works like in a visual representation. Okay. So here you can see that initially, in case I didn't draw the tape diagram for you, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 apples for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gold coins. Okay. Well, they said, okay, what if you had the gold coins equal to 32? Well, then if we know that there's 8 boxes here, 8 times what is going to give us that 32? Yeah, 4. So then that means that each of these boxes is worth 4, right? So 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4. And that means that then these boxes are each worth 4. But up here, this is representing the number of apples, and that's what we want to find. When there's 32 gold coins, how many apples would there be then? Well, I have each box is 4, and how many of those boxes do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. So that would mean that there are 20 apples when there are 32 gold coins. And that's how tape diagrams work. Okay. That was a lot. Let's go ahead and try another one with the tape diagram, since that's kind of what's new here. It says, Jack had a bag of green and brown beans. Okay, so we have green and brown beans. That's why I labeled this here. Then it says the ratio of green to brown is represented in the tape diagram below. If Jack has 12 green beans, okay, so that means that the green, this one, is representing 12. Well, how many boxes are there? There's 3. So 3 times what is going to give me that number of 12. Yeah, you're right, a 4. So then let's put 4 in each of these boxes. And you're like, is it always a 4? No, just so happened. Okay, then that means that these are each worth 4. So now, how many brown beads does that equal? Well, okay, if each box is worth 4, and how many boxes do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Then how many brown beans do you have? 20. Okay, so is the answer always 20? No, it's not. Even starting out different, sometimes, sure, you got the answer 20, but do you see kind of how it worked? You saw that this is equal to the amount of green beans, so I focused on this, and then I counted how many boxes there were, and that told me how many times does that go into the number that they're saying it represents. And then that's how you figure out how much each box is worth. And then you apply that to find the missing piece of information. Okay. I promise you the next answer is not 20. Let's go ahead and try it. If you want to go ahead and try it yourself first, you're always welcome to pause the video, try it yourself, and then unpause it and come back with us. Okay, so if you unpaused it and now you're back with us, let's see. It says the tape diagram below shows a ratio of brown to white eggs. If Mr. Dumpty has 14 brown eggs, okay, so 14 brown, that means that right here, this is equal to 14. How many boxes do you see for brown? Yeah, you see 2. So how much is each box worth then if 2 times something needs to equal 14? Hopefully you said 7. So that means each box is, yes, worth 7. Now they're asking you, okay, if you have 14 brown eggs, then how many white eggs do you have? Well, let's figure out the number of white eggs. Okay, so right here, they have how many boxes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. And each box is worth how much? That's right, 7. So then 5 times 7 is 35. So you have 35 white eggs when you have 14 brown eggs, because that ratio is in a 2 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ratio. Okay. If you didn't get that one right, it's okay. We have another chance. You got this one. Again, we still have a ratio of brown to white eggs, but this time instead of drawing it, we have to draw it ourselves. Okay, it's not that bad. So they said brown to white. And then they gave me this. So that means since it's brown to white, the first number is representing the brown. And that's 2 boxes. So let's do 2 boxes for brown. And then that second number is representing the amount of white. And they said it's in a 2 to 5 ratio. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. There we go. So from here, I drew the tape diagram myself. And you can see that there's 5 white eggs for every 2 brown eggs. Now they're asking, okay, what if Mr. Dumpty has 63 total eggs? Ooh, that's hard. How many of them are white? Well, normally we always drew it like this, right? But like this is kind of confusing since they're talking about the total. So what if instead I were to rewrite it like this? Okay, so we still have 2 brown, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, we said 5 white. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's still a total of 7 boxes, right? And we have 2 representing the brown and 5 representing the white. It's just easier for me to see now, like, here's all of them total together. And you're like, why does that really matter that you did it that way? Because not just brown, not just white, but the total amount is equal to 63. And how many total boxes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total boxes, because there's 2 that are brown and 5 that are white. Well, 7 times what is going to give me 63? 9. So that means that each box is worth, you guessed it, 9. And now they said, okay, how many of them are white? So white is the one that I'm focusing on. That's these ones. Okay, well, each box is worth, we said 9. And how many of those boxes are white? 1, 2, 3, 4. We said 5. So 9 times 5 is 45. So that means that this will have 45 white eggs. Okay, if you got that one right on your own, great job. That one was really hard. Okay, uh-oh, this one says tricky. Why is this tricky? It says the ratio of brown eggs to white eggs is 2 to 5. Okay, well, so far it sounds all right. Let's start off the same. We have brown, and that's 2. Are they scaring me for no reason? Let's see. To white eggs, and there's 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this might be the tricky part. It says if Mr. Dumpty has 12 fewer brown eggs than white eggs, then how many brown eggs does he have? Okay, so he has 12 fewer brown. So that means he has 12 more white, right? Which means this amount right here represents how much? This is the how much more he has than brown, right? And how many more white does he have than brown, or how many fewer does he have? That's right, he has 12 fewer. So right here, this amount right here needs to be equal to 12. How many is that? 3. Okay, and then 3 times what is going to give me that 12? 4. So that means that each box is worth 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill that in. And now I can answer the other question. It says, then how many brown eggs does he have? Okay, well, brown is right here, and there's 2 boxes that are each worth 4. So 2 times 4 is, you guessed it, 8 brown eggs. Okay, you know what? I was kind of feeling like I liked normal proportions before, but I can see why tape diagrams are helpful if it's a problem like this. Okay, if you haven't tried one on your own, try this one. Okay, now that you're back with us, see how you did. It says a recipe calls for 7 cups of milk. Okay, so we have milk, and there's 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. For every 2 cups of sugar. Okay, so we have sugar, and that is only 2 boxes. If Tina is using 20 cups more milk than sugar, okay, so the more amount, that's this much, is 20. How much sugar does she need? Okay, let's focus on this part. Okay, this amount right here is equal to 20. Well, how many boxes is that? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 5 times what gives me 20? Yeah, 4. So that means that each of these is worth 4. And then now that I have this figured out, I can answer that other question that's saying, okay, then how much sugar is needed? Well, sugar is here, and there are 2 boxes that are each worth 4. So that brings me a total of, 8 cups of sugar. And there you have it. You just mastered how to use tape diagrams. Congratulations, those were pretty tough.